Welcome back to Buckets WNBA edition. I'm your host, Jim Turvey. We are here on a Monday evening preparing for a Game 3 preview. We've got two games in the books. We got Dano, Mataya. We've had Dano. We've been rolling you out consistently these playoffs. We have the best in the biz for the finals. I know we texted a lot the last couple days. The first two games didn't go exactly as we wanted, but we're coming in here.
They covered in game one. And you know what? Had they won in game one, I would have been all over Aces game two. I wanted to believe in some kind of magic, but yeah, I don't mean to interrupt. But they at least they did cover. We'll give them that.
They covered. And listen, the game one script, that was the one where they get them, and then game two goes back, but they just didn't get them. And that's, I mean, let's. Who are we to kill time? Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
Game one, game two. No, we know each other. We're talking to each other today. We don't need to do niceties here. Game one, game two recap. So let's start with game one. My notes for game one are literally just power ranking the most painful moments. Again, apologies to I'm sure there's some Aces listeners out there that are like, painful. This was like a great game. But having been Aces skeptics all season, having been Phoenix backers all season, this was a very painful game one. So about my pain rankings, and I don't know, you feel free. I'm sure there's 100 more things. These were just like as soon as I thought of it, I was number one, AT missing both free throws. I think that has to be number one with a bullet, most painful. That would have given them lead, totally switches that final possession. They don't have to foul, et cetera, et cetera. The final botch possession, I have number two. I thought that was, for a coach that we've thought has been really good this season, terrible final possession for some like a player like Satu, for a player Kia Stokes suddenly making clutch defensive plays, just all the pain that you could possibly imagine on that final possession. The Satu technical slept on. That's the point that honestly was the swing point that made them have to foul too. Her getting that technical, her teammates instantly being like, what the hell are you doing? Like that, this is not the time to take a tech. Some of those fouls weren't, maybe the best calls, but we'll come back to that. And then number four was any of the Dana Evans threes. 21 points, right in line basically with a career high, out of nowhere. This is not really what she's done all season, but credit her, credit the Aces. Did I forget any of the painful moments? I mean, what stood out to you from that game one? This is like about as tilted as I've ever been, honestly, watching a game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thankful that I was watching with my 4-year-old niece and 2-year-old nephew, so I couldn't use any bad words, nor could I smoke a cigarette.
You needed one, man.
I'm still cigaretteless in like a year and a half, but this team makes me so bad. But seriously, I think you covered them all except for they weren't painful. It's just like so many bad turnovers. Like Monique had a few terrible passes. AT just throwing it up the court for no reason. I thought the shot selection was great. I mean, that's why they, hit 14 threes. Like they got good looks. Ka was incredible. Second half, I think they just kind of got complacent. And yeah, I mean, Dana Evans and Joe Lloyd, make up for a bad Asia game. And then, there's somebody who might listen to this podcast who I wager with, and we included in the end of the regular season, the Mercury money line as just a parlay leg during college football, at the Sun.
Mm-hmm.
And AT had 2 free throws at the end of the game and missed both. Very similar situation. And it's just like, I don't know what to say. Like I did not. The first one was so terrible. The second one had no chance of going in. I felt like, but like offensively, you got what you wanted. At least in the first half, you put up 50 plus. And I mean, the other painful thing that, I said an apology because she was really good in game 4 of the Minnesota series, but DeWanna Bonner, horrible.
Yeah, it's
like
been
just
bad couple
just so bad. You got Dana Evans making like pull up threes, falling out of bounds on a fast break, and I can't get DeWanna Bonner to make a wide open three with nobody near her.
So
it's You're supposed to be a vet. You're supposed to have championship experience. You can't be a liability. And it's like I think Asia is actually doing a great job on AT. I mean, AT is doing a great job on Asia, like for what it's worth.
Yeah.
You saw in game 2 she got in foul trouble. I know we're not on there yet, but Bonner just doesn't really give you anything defensively either. So, yeah, I mean, the turnovers and DeWanna Bonner just existing out there kill me.
Yeah, I mean, I think you pinned the word down for game 1 is complacent. And like the second half, it did strike me as very. I don't know if they needed the home crowd. Like you're in the finals, and there were kind of a couple times that like loose balls they even seemed like a little bit slow to, which has not been this team's MO this season.
100% nailed that.
Is so strange where like it just keeps seeming like things that don't really make sense keep happening. It's like the Aces being the team that's more hustling and has the random bench player go off. That's been Phoenix's MO all season. And like suddenly it flips in the finals. It's been a strange season, but I do think the AT of it all, listen, if AT makes one of those free throws, let alone 2, if she makes 2, it's totally different. But even if she makes 1, maybe it goes to overtime. I mean, going in and getting 1 in Vegas was always the plan. I don't think anyone thought Phoenix was going to win the 2 games in Vegas. Everything looks different if this is 1-1. And so this is where, almost we can skip ahead of game 2 for a second just to kind of frame the series as a whole where, we were joking before. It was like, as soon as you got on, I was like, Dano, are we putting on the clown makeup, looking in the mirror and saying like, we're going back to the well with Phoenix? And I think we kind of are. Like, not to get too far ahead of ourselves. We can talk game 2 in a second, but like, it's a bounce or 2 away. Now, is that bounce or 2 massive? 100%. But especially looking game 3 specific, I think it would be wrong to reframe everything just based off of a few random little things in game 1. Now, maybe you can say, well, listen, the Aces have that championship equity. They've been there. They've done that. Alyssa Thomas keeps kind of crumbling in the clutch. We saw her miss the wide open layup in the Liberty series that would have won a game. So I think it's fair to think about that, but I also don't think it should be overweighed. But give me thoughts on that, and then let's do a little bit of a game 2 recap. It probably doesn't have to be quite as long. It was a little bit more of a blowout before we get to game 2. But what are your thoughts on all of that?
Honestly, just like a terrible second quarter.
Yeah.
Really, it's like define the game. Horrible turnovers, 18 foul trouble, terrible shot selection from Satu, which basically to me equate to turnovers. I mean, Sammy's playing. We saw the injury. She came back in game 1, but game 2, she was. I mean, nobody could guard Jackie Young, but she was pretty bad on offense and defense.
Yeah.
5 for 28 from 3, but this team is not going to cut it. So,
yeah.
And there some open looks. So, I mean, you just can't. I mean, there's, held Asia under 30, but Jackie had the greatest quarter in WNBA Finals history. And
this team, man, this Aces team just. It's kind of incredible. You mentioned the turnovers from the Phoenix side. It's also that the Aces only turned the ball over 5 times.
I know.
In game 2, and that is so key. Like Phoenix loves to get out and run. So if they're not getting those turnovers again on run, suddenly offense stalls out a little bit. And I do think that the Phoenix defense kind of has to look in the mirror. I think that's maybe that game 2 script was kind of always there, but like even game 1, I mean, the Aces got to 89. Like this Phoenix defense looked really, really good the first couple rounds. Looks, and maybe it's matchups up. Maybe it's like Dana Evans having the game of her mind, like playing out of her mind, and then Jackie Young having the best quarter in WNBA Finals history. But like, I mean, those things happen. Like you can say that they're kind of one-offs, but like they literally happened. So again, I think we come back to this pivot point of like, how much do we take away from these 2 games? And how much do we want that to kind of come into our game 3 recap? And even, if we zoom out a little bit more into is Phoenix dead in this series in general? I mean, I looked it up and I was like, so Phoenix, whenever you're down 2-0 in a series, even though you get the classic, like, series hasn't started till a team loses a home game or whatever, but it now means
been thinking it all day.
I fucking love it. I knew you would be, but it does mean you have to win 4 out of 5 games. And that that's a pretty daunting task for anyone. But I'll say this, the Aces lost 4 or 5 games literally this season. Now, it was when they were, kind of in their turmoil early season, and they didn't look like this Aces, but like, again, not to reference the clown makeup, maybe that's the name of the episode, but like, it does seem like we've seen the narratives flip so fast in this postseason several times, and it does not take much for me to imagine Phoenix having a really good game 3. We know their home court's awesome. We know the home crowd is awesome. All the bench was garbage for them in game 2. I mean, you mentioned Bonner and Sammy. They didn't get anything in general from the bench, though. They basically got, I think it was like 8 points total, and half of that came like basically when the game is at hand. Those players theoretically are going to play better at home. But no teams ever come down from it's a lot of like this, that. So no teams ever come back from 2-0 in the playoffs, in the WNBA playoffs, but we've never had a series go 7. So no one's really had like a full chance to get back into it. So, I mean, I know the answer to this, but there is like, you think Phoenix still has a chance. Do you think it's like adjustments? Do you think it's that literally play the same? There were a couple bad bounces, or do you think it's just play your level? Like, what do you think it is that has you still believing in Phoenix?
I think game 1 really could have gone our way, and I think that's my, solace in looking at it. And I mean, to me, and I know you're saying you got to win 4 out of 5, but it's just like focus on the next one. You win the next one, and then you win the next one after that, and then it's best of 3, and you get one more at home. All you got to do is steal one in Vegas, and I mean, like, dude, Vegas was a Skylar Diggins layup away from being knocked out in the first round. They were, a shit call or two from losing to the, as the internet calls them, the hospital fever. Like, I just can't imagine Phoenix going down without a fight, and Aces putting them away in 5 or less. I just can't see it. I think Phoenix gets both these, and we're having a different conversation. I think one of them's a blowout. I think one of them's close, but they get them done.
Yeah, I mean, I am with you on that. I'll say, so to kind of set the scene for the finals in general. If we zoom out for a second, we'll get to game 3 specifically in a minute. But the books have it right now as Mercury plus 300, Aces minus 375 for the series as a whole. That's far from over. That's literally, plus 300. I think is that 20? Is that 25%? That's literally flip a coin twice and it's heads, and that's it. That's all you need to do. I believe if my mental math is correct there. Let's get game 3 in a second, but before we go, let's talk about football season. So let's chat about Action Pro subscription. Make sure you get that. Get those real-time pick alerts from experts like Chris Raybon, Brandon Anderson, Stuckey, the entire Action Network team. Plus, you can access our pro projections powered by Sean Kerner and the predictive analytics team. So just go to actionnetwork.com/pro and get $20 off the annual price with the promo code Buckets20. So don't miss out on best bets at best prices. Visit actionnetwork.com/pro. Use the promo code Buckets20 to get $20 off a year of Action Pro. So game 3 is pretty interesting. So this opened Phoenix -1. Has taken a lot of our Phoenix Mercury. The market is with us. It has ballooned out to Phoenix -4. It's pretty wild for the market to move a finals spread 3 points. Maybe you can talk about how like points around 0.
It opened at 1.
That's what the Action Network app has. Did you ever see a 1? I didn't see it open. Did you see a 1 ever or no?
I don't remember seeing it. Was doing family things, but I mean, I just told my guys to hit him again. So I don't
again. Hit him with
I have 3, which it's basically, like the series is a big one. It's kind of where it should be. So, and I understand the, maybe opening it lower just based on the Aces, kind of, even though it ended 13, it was a pretty dominant, soul crushing loss. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's still, in theory, to move that much, it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and I think maybe part of this is a Phoenix belief, but also you do have the zigzag thing here. I think that will probably come into both of our best bets where, you got the team down 2-0. Usually you're going to get, the best effort from that team. Total has come down a point and a half, which I think is interesting considering the first two games went over. And in this series in general, I was skewing towards liking over. So we can talk through, the betting side of it in a minute when we do best bets. But as you look at game three, we've kind of talked about this in general, but what is it do you think Phoenix really has to do? Is it the turnovers? Is it the bench? Is it the defense? I think those are like kind of the big three that you would look at to get fixed. Do you think there's anything else obvious? Do you think one of those is more important than the other? What are you looking at for game three?
Yeah, I think you nailed them all. Starting with turnovers, like just it's it's October. This season started in May. It's the longest season ever. The margin for error, especially when you're tired, gets much smaller, and you're playing a team with a bunch of champions, a bunch of Olympians. You gotta lock in. So yeah. I mean, I think they probably do some more switching, and that's one thing I think defensively I'm a little surprised by, because like the defensive rotations of Phoenix have been phenomenal in these playoffs. Give or take one game in the Link series, and you're just not really seeing that. And I understand Asia changes everything, but still, I think a lot of things are going to start to go your way. You're going to get more. You're going to get more no calls on the aces at home. You're going to get to the free throw line more. I'd rather get the Satu bad game out the way. And say bad game, she had 20 still, but
Yeah.
Put up a tour date to get it. So, so yeah, turnovers gotta cut that in half. Defense got to be better. The shots are going to come.
And you and I were talking.
If you get anything from the bench, like you said, those three things are you nailed it. Cat Westfeld over 5 so far. Sammy did score last game.
Yeah.
They've been huge all season, all playoffs, and so got to think they add some value. I don't want to say I'm gonna just get depressed if I think about the other bench players' names. I'm just not going to say it anymore.
You don't want to go much further than that, honestly. One thing you and I had talked about was, I saw a tweet from Nikias Duncan, one of the smarter basketball minds out there, talking about number of Alyssa Thomas pick and rolls. Now, I was picking your brain. You're really big, and you watch the game with kind of that player mentality of of watching for what sets are getting run and all that. And it was a notable drop off in terms of the number of pick and rolls that Phoenix ran with Alyssa Thomas as the ball handler. And you didn't read into that too much. You thought maybe that was like game script. They were kind of playing from behind. They had to play fast. I was a little more nervous that this was like Becky maybe making adjustments, getting Phoenix out of the comfort zone. Do you think we see Alyssa Thomas, who I don't think has had a great series so far? She had a great half, I think, like first half of game one, and has looked a little bit shaky, I think, since. Do you think she really gets back into her comfort zone in game three? Do you think Kalia Copper, who's been so good in the series, they start to maybe run some stuff like specifically looking for her? I tend to think that again, we're like a bounce or two away from being 1-1 and totally don't get out of everything that got you here. But do you think there is the fear that like if they start slow, suddenly they're going to like get out of their normalized sets and really kind of be chasing? What do you think about all that?
No, I think Phoenix. I don't think there's anything specific Vegas was doing. It was just, Phoenix. I mean, they were making shots, not having live ball turnovers, and in that sense, Phoenix is trying to just push and go, off a make. That changes a lot of things. I think Alyssa Thomas is best in transition. I mean, like you said, she had a really good first half. I think she bounces back, but we've talked up Nate quite a bit, and I think there is pressure on him to deliver in both these next two games. So I think he's also, a type of coach that's like, all right, these 8 players have got me here. I'm going to stick with them. Um, but yeah, both games, 2 key players getting in foul trouble, Satu in game 1 and AT in game 2. So, got to do something different.
Yeah, I agree with that. That seconded to basically everything you just said there. I think that's a really good read on it. Let's get to the betting side of things specifically for this game 3. You and I are again in semi lockstep, and even semi lockstep on how to approach it. I really like the way you specifically are doing. Mine's a little bit different, but we definitely have kind of a similar approach. So why don't you rattle off, just say the best bets, then we'll circle back to our kind of similar logic here. But what are your best bets for game 3?
Sure. I don't mind taking first half spread or full game spread. By the way, I probably will still do it, but I'm doing double result. Phoenix. I think they come out strong, up at half, and then finish the game out. It's even money, so you can find that pretty much anywhere. And then the player who has been off to the most amazing start each game, and shooting her ass off, scoring at all 3 levels. Kalia Copper to get 20 points at plus 172. She's done it in both first 2 games. Shouldn't have a problem doing it again.
Yeah, I love both those. I'm similar but slightly different. I had the Mercury first half spread is -1.5. I think that's like maybe one book, but I think you can get 2.5 in a lot of books. I like that. I love the double result being, Mercury to win the first half, Mercury to win the game at even money. I think that's a really good way to play this. I honestly think if they are down at the half, it's going to be a tough comeback. So I think you're kind of, not only is it a way to play the Mercury, but it's a way to kind of be like, this is the script we kind of need is the Mercury to be up at the half and then get it across the finish line. So I'm going to be joining you on that as well. And then the player, again, our producer David Payne joked when he said he didn't even have to look at the doc. He knew exactly what the best bets were going to be. Listen, she has not even played that well this series, and she's cleared it in both games. Satu over 17.5 points. She had 19 in game 1, even with foul trouble. She had 22 in game 2, even shooting very poorly, 2 of 9 from 3. And like you said, the shot selection was pretty poor. You can do it again. You can combine them, do the Satu and the money line for the same game parlay that has been mostly like beneficial to us this postseason. But game 1, unfortunately, did not hit. I didn't play it again in game 2. Game 2, I stayed away, man. I really was. Game 1 got in my head, and I didn't like the spot in game
Smart.
2. I needed a day to recuperate and then like wash off the clown makeup that I'm now putting back on to make these bets for game 3. But listen, the market's with us. The market's moving it towards Phoenix. I do think you can tell when there's like I don't even know if bias is the right word, but like if you have a blind spot on a team and you just like continually missing on it, sometimes you need to look and be like, okay, I need to reassess. Clearly something's wrong here. I really don't think this is that situation. I do think, I think you're approaching it right. This should be one game at a time. We're not telling you to bet Mercury series here. This is a game 3 preview. We are looking at the Mercury in a great spot, coming back home, having played game 1, 2, and I think they played better in game 1 and came out as a loss. Now they get the home crowd. Now they get to, get that home cooking, the short flight with a long rest. I think they should come out firing. So, I mean,
I'll be there. I'll scream my ass off.
Yeah,
I promise.
Dano's going to be carrying us there in person.
Seats are right next to the Aces bench. If I won't say anything that gets me banned.
Yeah, please stay in the arena, Dan. Don't get yourself kicked out.
Yeah. But I will call the refs by name if I have to. I know them all. Look them all up on LinkedIn. Trust me.
On LinkedIn, amazing.
It's my toxic trait. When I lose a bet because of a ref, in my opinion, I immediately go to LinkedIn. I gotta know what they really do.
Just find them. Just see what they're what they've been up to, what they did before this. I love it. All right, that's our episode for today. Kept it pretty tight. We got some best bets for you. Got a little recap of 1, 2, preview of 3. We will be back. I think we'll keep the schedule as is. The bucket schedule has lined up very nicely with the WNBA Finals schedule. So we've got game 4 on Friday. So we'll be in your feed again Friday morning. I think I'm going to have Joe Dolera on the episode. We haven't chatted with him in a minute, so I think we'll get him on for that. Any final thoughts here, Dano, before I guess out of here, other than that you are getting ready to be there in person?
You know, go Merc and 6. I've been tweeting it this whole time.
Merc and
Got to
6.
win 4 in a row.
Absolutely love it.
I got to find a way. I'm going to give it everything I got.
I love it. All right. Perfect note to end on. So if you would like to tail any of the bets we talked about today, make sure to look for the quick slip link in the episode description. We will also be posting our plays in the app. So obviously make sure you download the app, give us a follow, put those notifications on. By the time you hear this, those plays will be up. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening to it as a podcast, rate and review is always appreciated. My thanks to David Payne on audio, Gifford Gould, YouTube side of things. For Dano, myself, and the Phoenix Mercury, let's get buckets.